purse bids for the Joseph Parker Hughie Fury fight will start on February 1st. So that's about a week from now. The winning bid will be split 60-40 in the champion's favor. So that's 60% to Joseph Parker, 40% to Hughie Fury. And the minimum bid will be $1 million. Now, I'm quite surprised that it's only 60-40, that the challenger gets 40%. That's a lot. Normally, with most of the governing bodies, the challenger gets like 25%. Whereas with the WBO, apparently, challengers getting 40% now, mandatory challengers. I'm not sure if this is a new thing. I'm not sure if this has been going on for a long time. I haven't really checked, to be honest, with the WBO, but I can't remember a sanctioning body giving a challenger that much before in a mandatory purse bid situation. So that'll be by far, I would imagine, Hughie Fury's biggest payday so far in his career. Having said that, Eddie Hearn did say something which was interesting about Hughie Fury turning down the offer to fight Anthony Joshua. He said that he can't understand why Hughie Fury turned down the Joshua fight because he claims he wasn't getting a lot of money, when if he fights Joseph Parker, he's probably going to get less money than he was offered against Joshua. I don't know how true that is, but that is something that Eddie Hearn said. So we'll find out soon enough, because we'll see what the winning bid is. 40% of that winning bid will be Hughie Fury's purse. So we'll find out. But it looks as though this fight is actually going to go ahead. Joseph Parker versus Hughie Fury. I think it's a decent fight. Two unbeaten fighters. Joseph Parker, I think, has faced tougher opposition, particularly in his last couple fights. Carlos Takam and Andy Ruiz are better than anybody that Hughie Fury has faced so far. Although Hughie Fury has had better sparring. He's been in there sparring his cousin Tyson Fury, who's one of the best, if not the best, heavyweight in the world currently. Although Tyson's on a little break at the moment because of his well-documented issues. So, yeah, I think it's a good fight. Who do I think is going to win? It may even depend on where the fight happens, and it's likely because Duco Events, who promote Joseph Parker, are a small outfit, and New Zealand is a small country with a very small population. So they don't really have the capital, I don't think, to win this purse bid. I expect Frank Warren to win this purse bid on behalf of Hughie Fury, and therefore the fight will probably take place in the UK, unless Duco Events have got deeper pockets than I realized. Maybe they've got some big time investors. Maybe they've got some big time millionaire or billionaire in New Zealand who's willing to put his hands in his pockets and have the fight over there. I don't know. But yeah, I'm expecting the fight to happen in the UK, and that can only be to Hughie Fury's advantage because Frank Warren will likely try to get the fight on in Manchester. You know, Hughie Fury is not a massive name in British boxing. He's certainly not a household name or anything like that. He can walk down the street in most British towns and cities and nobody will recognize him. But in his hometown of Manchester, maybe he can get a decent amount of support. I mean, they're going to publicize it on Box Nation and BT Sport, I'm sure. So maybe they can fill out the MEN. We'll see. And point is, I think that'll be to Hughie Fury's advantage with regards to judging. And Joseph Parker has fought overseas before. I believe he's fought in America, but he hasn't done it that many times. So how will he cope with the atmosphere? He's used to being the guy that's being cheered on, the guy who has the fan support, the guy who's in his comfort zone, so to speak. How will he feel traveling to the UK and being the outsider, maybe getting booed? You know, it could all play a factor in this particular fight. If it was on neutral ground, I would favor Joseph Parker. But if it happens in the UK, I might even lean towards Hughie Fury, you know, to beat Joseph Parker. A lot of people are kind of not sold on Hughie Fury and they say he's not that good, this, that, and the other. I think people are being a bit harsh on him. I think he is actually a good heavyweight. He's got good skills. He's got a very good jab. He's got good movement. He's fluid for a big guy. He hasn't looked devastating, but you don't necessarily need to look devastating to be effective. You know, when has Bernard Hopkins ever looked devastating? Even when he was in his prime and he had his best wins, he never looked devastating. He was awkward and clever, but he was never a devastating guy. So, and again, I'm not sitting here trying to tell you Hughie Fury is the heavyweight equivalent of Hopkins, but it's worth bearing in mind. You know, people want to see heavyweights go out there and smash the other guy to pieces like Joshua was doing, for example. And if you're not doing that, well, you must be rubbish. That tends to be the view of a lot of fans out there. In my opinion, that is a very naive view, very short-sighted. But let me know what you think of this fight. Where do you think it will be held? Do you think it will make any difference? Do you think Parker will travel well if he has to go to the UK? Do you think Hughie Fury will travel well if he has to fight in New Zealand? Drop it all in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.